Days of Our Lives, July 8, 2025. Longtime fans of Days of Our Lives are in for a roller coaster of drama, heartache, and suspense that will keep everyone glued to the screen. Let's walk through what's in store and why you won't want to miss a single moment. Leo under pressure, a baby in crisis and a heart full of fear. The day begins with Leo Stark, a character more often known for his sharp wit and flair for drama than for any display of parental instincts. But today, Leo is thrown into unfamiliar territory. A world filled with diapers, bottles, and late-night crying. Leo is trying to care for baby Tesoro, but it quickly becomes clear that this is not a task he's equipped for. The once sassy schemer is unraveling fast. Tesoro's condition takes a sudden turn, and Leo's panic is as real as it is raw. Alone, unsure, and terrified of making the wrong decision, Leo does the only thing he can think to do. He rushes the baby to the hospital. At University Hospital, he meets Dr. Kayla Brady, a reassuring presence who's seen it all. Kayla gently examines the baby and provides comfort not just for the infant, but also for a shaken Leo. As the foster parents arrive, new faces, uncertain but hopeful, Kayla is the calm in the storm. She assures them and Leo that Tesoro is in good hands. Yet underneath the professional composure, even Kayla knows this situation could unravel. Is this merely a medical scare? Or the beginning of a deeper mystery surrounding Tesoro's health and origins? Gwen's shocking return. A ghost from the past walks back into town. Meanwhile, across town, the atmosphere is thick with tension. A familiar figure steps off a bus, suitcase in hand, her expression unreadable. Gwen Rizek is back in Salem, and not a single person saw it coming. Her return is like a stone thrown into a still pond. Ripples are already forming. Once the center of more than a few dramatic entanglements, Gwen left town under a cloud of questions. Where did she go? Why is she back now? And what does she want? As she walks through Salem, Gwen knows eyes are on her, and none more so than those of Julie Williams and Chad DiMera, who happen to run into her at the worst possible time. Their shock is immediate. Julie's jaw drops. Chad's expression darkens. This isn't a welcome homecoming, this is a reckoning. And yet, Gwen doesn't back down. She claims she's changed, that she's returning to make amends. But can anyone in Salem truly believe her? Julie and Chad, shaken by a sudden revelation back at the Horton house, Julie and Chad reel from a surprising revelation that threatens to tear open old wounds. While Gwen's reappearance might be the spark, the fire it ignites reveals something much deeper, a family secret long buried, perhaps, or an unexpected betrayal that puts both of them on edge. For Chad, who has struggled to keep his family intact after so many tragedies, this could be the final blow. For Julie, whose sense of loyalty and legacy is unparalleled, the betrayal stings more than she lets on. Their reactions diverge. Chad wants answers. Julie wants justice. But both know this revelation changes everything. Rafe and Ari, a father torn between love and law. Rafe Hernandez, ever the upstanding detective, finds himself pulled into a situation that hits far too close to home. His stepdaughter, Ariana Ari, is caught in something dangerous, something that could affect her future forever. Rafe discovers her doing something she knows she shouldn't, something that shocks him to the core. As he confronts her, emotions spill out. This isn't just about a bad decision, it's about trust, about growing up too fast, about what it means to protect someone without enabling their worst instincts. Rafe wants to shield Ari, but the line between fatherly love and legal responsibility grows thin. Does he let her learn from this mistake on her own, or does he intervene in a way that could damage their bond forever? Later that evening, still reeling from their confrontation, Ari slips out and ends up at the local bar where fate and drama are waiting. A dangerous encounter in the alley. Trouble has a name. Doug 3 outside the bar. In the shadowy corners of Salem, Doug 3 emerges from the darkness. He's not just a thug. He's a man with a score to settle and a debt to collect. Ari, already shaken, now finds herself in a situation far more dangerous than she ever imagined. At the same time, Kayla crosses paths with her, unaware of the lurking danger. But when the encounter turns threatening, Salem's beloved Dr. May find herself in peril too. Will Rafe arrive in time to protect them? Or will this confrontation end in a way no one expects? Leo and Gwen, A bittersweet reunion as the episode winds down. Leo, emotionally drained after the day's events, receives one more shock. He runs into Gwen. Their eyes lock. Old friends, former partners in crime, perhaps even something more. Their reunion is not full of joy, but something heavier. Time has passed. Pain has grown. And the past, it never truly stays buried in Salem. Leo's face is a mask of disbelief. Gwen's is harder to read. Do they fall back into old patterns? Or is this the start of something new between them? A rekindling or a reckoning? Final thoughts. A day that changes everything. Tuesday's episode of Days of Our Lives is not just another day in Salem. It's a turning point, filled with emotional awakenings, dramatic twists, and the promise that no secret stays hidden forever. Next, Days of Our Lives spoilers. July 7th to 11th, 2025. Gwen's return shakes Salem as secrets, schemes, and scandals explode. The week of July 7th through July 11th on Days of Our Lives is shaping up to be one of the most explosive stretches in recent memory. From lovers' quarrels and long-simmering rivalries to whispered schemes and unexpected reunions, Salem will be rocked to its core. At the heart of the storm, the long-awaited return of Gwen Rizek, whose reappearance is bound to stir old emotions, ignite fresh confrontations, and unravel tightly held secrets. If you thought the drama was intense before, brace yourself, because this week, Days of Our Lives reminds us all why it's the show that never lets go. Xander and Sarah. A love once fierce. Now fractured tensions have been rising between Xander Cook and Sarah Horton Kiriakis for months. But this week, things finally come to a boil. The couple, whose passionate love affair once defied all odds, is now locked in a cycle of miscommunication, stubborn pride, and unresolved hurt. In a heated confrontation that spills from private whispers to public shouting, Xander and Sarah find themselves once again at odds. Old wounds are reopened, harsh words are exchanged, and through it all, one truth becomes painfully clear. Whatever remains between them is buried beneath layers of heartbreak and misunderstanding. Xander, once the brute-turned devoted husband, is left pacing the room with clenched fists and a heavy heart. Sarah, caught between past affections and present pain, turns to someone surprising for guidance. Bonnie Kiriakis. The ever-blunt but strangely insightful Bonnie offers Sarah advice straight from the school of hard knocks. She reminds her that love doesn't always look pretty, but it does demand honesty, with yourself and with the one you love. But as Sarah leans on Bonnie, trouble brews elsewhere, and Gwen's return might just turn everything upside down. Gwen returns, a tornado of trouble with a necklace full of secrets. As if Xander and Sarah's struggles weren't enough, enter Gwen Rizek, a name that still sends ripples of tension through Salem. Gwen arrives back in town unannounced, and it's safe to say that her presence is anything but welcomed. She doesn't ease in gently. No, Gwen charges into Salem like a storm, her eyes locked on Xander the moment she spots him. There's a flicker of something there, longing, regret, maybe even hope. She rushes toward him, eager to rekindle what once existed, even if just for a moment of comfort. But will Xander take the bait? Though he's still reeling from his argument with Sarah, Xander is no fool. He's been burned before, and Gwen is a flame that's hard to forget, equal parts alluring and dangerous. Whether he allows himself to be pulled back into Gwen's orbit or turns away once and for all remains to be seen. Either way, their reunion is electric and fraught with possibility. Julie and Chad confront Gwen, and a stolen heirloom. Gwen doesn't stop with Xander. No, she continues her disruptive tour of Salem by heading straight for the Horton house, where Julie Williams and Chad DiMera are having a quiet moment until she barges in, uninvited and unapologetic. Julie is stunned. Chad is on guard. Gwen, however, seems unfazed by their icy reception. The reason for the tension becomes clear soon enough. Julie's necklace, a cherished family heirloom, has mysteriously fallen into Gwen's possession. How she acquired it is unclear, but knowing Gwen's history, it likely wasn't by accident or entirely legal means. Julie demands answers. Chad steps in, trying to keep the peace but struggling to hide his growing suspicion. Gwen, ever the slippery talker, dodges, deflects, and delivers just enough truth to stay ahead of any accusations. But the damage is done. Her presence, and the mystery of the necklace, dredges up past betrayals and reignites old resentments. And as Gwen leaves the Horton house, one thing is clear. The quiet is over. Salem is officially on edge. Drawn into darkness, Gwen and EJ's alliance? As if Gwen hasn't caused enough waves already, it seems her return may have an even more sinister undertone. Whispers suggest that EJ Demera, no stranger to scheming and manipulation, is about to pull Gwen into one of his shadowy plots. Though the details remain murky, their potential alliance is a terrifying prospect. Gwen's willingness to cross lines combined with EJ's cold calculation could mean trouble for anyone caught in their path. Is Gwen playing with fire again? Or has she found in EJ a kindred spirit, someone as dangerously clever and morally ambiguous as she is? Whatever the case, Salem may not be ready for the storm they're about to unleash together. Philip and Xander, an old rivalry reignites back in the world of tangled romances and wounded pride. Xander finds himself facing off with another familiar face, Philip Kyriakis. The long-standing tension between the two men resurfaces with new heat, and the cause of the latest clash? None other than Sarah. As if things weren't complicated enough, Philip is furious. Emotions are running high, and soon, fists may be too. Sarah, once again caught between two men with a history of violence and secrets, demands answers. In a bold moment, she corners Philip and urges him to come clean. She suspects, rightly, that Xander was not the one who attacked Philip. If that's true, then someone's lying, and someone else may be protecting a secret worth fighting for.